My 19-year-old son recently asked me, "How don't you lose your mind with 8 hours of continuous swimming?" I'd like to talk about that today. I think that's a great question that many people have had. Like, how do you do it? Wow. Number one, I do it because I want to do it. I desire to swim. I love to swim. I feel like I'm in my element. And basically, you work up to it. A marathon runner doesn't just suddenly run 26.2 miles. It involves a lot of training and working up to it. It's a progression. You start with a half a mile run, then a mile, 5 miles, 10 miles, and before you know it, you've trained yourself, you've perfected the technique, you've worked on it, what your body has to do. And so the same is true with long distance swimming. You work up to it. Now, I never really thought I would be doing these long distance swims. I learned to swim when I was 4 or 5 years old in Long Island Sound. I grew up in Connecticut. The summers are very short there. We only had outdoor pools. I never was on a team, on maybe summer leagues between the ages of 11 and 14. I wasn't good enough in college. I went to a good university with a top-notch swim team, so I wouldn't even think to join or even be asked to join. I never had any private coaches. I just enjoyed swimming. And so most of my adult life, I would find a pool, usually an indoor pool, and swim maybe 3 times a week for 40 minutes. And that was about all the time that I had. So that would be less than 5 miles per week. I would say that I've always enjoyed swimming, but I've never really been a competitor, and I have good strong skills, but I consider average. I'm not like this super. In fact, in my master's team, or whatever you want to call it, my master's group, I'm the slowest one in the pool. So I'm just working on my own skills, and anyways. But I love swimming. I have the desire, and I've worked up to it. I'm working on my skill. I'm working on efficiency, and hopefully I want to be a little bit faster so as to, blend in with a group if I ever do an event. My first event is coming up in October, in a couple of weeks here, and I'm excited about that. It's going to be called Swim the Suck in Tennessee, the Tennessee River Gorge. It's 10 miles downstream. Bob will kayak and I will swim. And events make me nervous because just a bunch of people in the beginning, and I don't know, I'm a competitive person within myself, but you put everybody together in a race, and it's just, I'm not at ease, and I'm not comfortable with that. I'm comfortable just jumping in and doing my own thing and swimming with a group of people with no set time and no competition. But I do want to get faster and better to make less time for Bob, my kayaker. When we go out on these long swims, I'd like to cover more distance and make it less time for him. And that's really what I'm concerned about, is in making myself go a little bit faster. But how do I do it? I do it because it's just so fulfilling and satisfying to me. I feel productive. I feel like I work through frustrations, I work through anger, I can work through complaints, and I really challenge myself. I want to see, what can my body do? What is the maximum I can push myself? Because I feel that's exciting. I don't know. Well, I did learn on my longboat swim. I did really push myself to the limit, and I think that was the hardest physical exertion I've ever done, the hardest swim I've ever done, and I've learned from it. There's many things we can learn from these long projects. So by listening to my story, I hope that you will decide to take on a challenge that's bigger than you are, that's difficult, whether it's a home project, whether it's a work project, maybe an athletic or physical project, but take on something that is enormous, because I think we are meant as human beings to be productive, to really find what it is that we can push ourselves to do, of course safely, and of course logically, sensibly. You sensibly want to improve yourself. I've just never been a person to, I just have a lot of passion in me, and so I can foresee myself doing longer swims and more intense challenges, just because it's exciting, it's fun. And the swimming is free therapy. The swimmers and the athletes that I know, there's more endorphins going around in our lives, and I think there's less depression. I would definitely say being around athletes, it inspires me. These athletes, they don't know it, but they are mentors. I look to them and I see, wow, this one can swim the English Channel. Wow, this one's overcome this. And you find some of their personal stories, and it's really exciting, and the energy contributes to you, like, wow, well, what can I do? What do I want to do? I'm always planning my next swim. I have my bathing suit on right now because I'm going to go take a bike ride and jump in my backyard pool. I'm always thinking about, well, what is my next swim? What can I look forward to? I look forward to these long swims. You disengage from other things in your life. It's not a distraction, but it's a really healthy way to just bathe yourself in the beauties of nature. And just ask people, what vacations are they looking forward to? They want to go to the beach. They want to seek out water, whether it's just for the views, whether it's being on a boat, whether it's swimming with dolphins. Some people want to go to the mountains for the nice, crisp, fresh air. But a lot of people want to go to the water. Many people are drawn to living near coastal areas. The water, it reminds us of the womb and the happy, safe place. Water is a happy, safe place for many of us. I'm happy to be in the water for many hours. That's why I can swim for 8 continuous hours. Have a great day.